racist and an idiot. And one of the large Charlie Kirk is a racist and an idiot. And one of the largest voices on the right. His fame is a relatively new thing. He went from being known only by online political junkies like myself in the late 2010s.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe.
From being known only by online political junkies like myself in the late 2010s.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live what I believe. What do? I get charity every single year.
Hold on.
My salary less than his.
Charlie, take a
Come on,
seat.
Shank, let's go.
Charlie,
What are you doing?
take a seat. Take a seat.
Psycho?
Charity every single year.
Hold on.
My salary
Charlie.
less than his.
Charlie, take a
Come on,
seat.
Shank, let's go.
Charlie,
What are you doing?
take a seat. Take a seat.
Psycho?
To being known by basically every single teenager in America with a TikTok account.
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the I'm sorry, is this a language class?
It means little human being.
In the US now, where Donald Trump has just said that MAGA influencer Charlie Kirk has died. Let's go live to US correspondent Rob Scott. So Rob, he was shot while speaking at an event.
That's right, Shovo. He was addressing a crowd of thousands of university students in Utah, something he often does when he was shot in the neck. That caused absolute mayhem in the crowd, with thousands of young people screaming and running for cover. As you say, Donald Trump, a close personal friend of Charlie Kirk, made the announcement on his Truth Social account just a few minutes ago. I want to read you what he wrote. He said, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially by me, and he is now no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." Now, we are just seeing pictures come in from the scene of a SWAT team moving from building to building, trying to track down the alleged gunman. The university tells us it believes that shot was fired from a building some 180 meters away from the tent where Charlie Kirk was speaking in, so quite some distance. As I said, Kirk was a close personal friend of Donald Trump, and he is widely regarded as the person who revived the youth vote for the Republicans at the last election. As I said, Kirk was a close personal friend of Donald Trump, and he is widely regarded as the person who revived the youth vote for the Republicans at the last election. Youth vote for the Republicans at the last election. He himself is young. He's only 31. He leaves behind a wife and two very young kids.
All praises and glory goes to our mighty power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, citations unto the legmen feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, in sincerity and truth. This great gospel coming out of our Bible, and we are definitely living in the times of what? Judgment. A time of judgment, right? Let's get this scripture. It says here in the book of Deuteronomy 32, verse 32 and 39, See now that I, even I am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I healed. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And we're in the time of the Lord visiting our enemies. Our enemies, because the curses is being taken off of us and being put on who? The heathens, the Gentiles. Right, the heathen, the Gentiles, right? We went to a time where Jake was being sniped and shot and killed and murdered. Now you got Esau being killed, right? You got politicians who got killed a few months back, right? DJT was shot at. You got this Edomite who's a big mega promoter, right? What happened? Bullet to his neck. Lord put a bullet in his neck, right? I'm reading here in the book of Isaiah 48 and 22. It says, "There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked." There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked, right? Their inward thoughts as their houses shall continue forever. Right? They really think that it's going to be a regeneration, a rebuilding of what? Babylon the Great, a rebuilding of Esau Edom after Esau Edom has been, we could say, like it says, the man of sin being revealed, right? Everybody knows this is the devil, right? These other nations, they doing pacts with Russia. They don't look at Russia as like the same Edomites as you would see the British or the Americans, right? They look at Russia kind of different, so that's why they're dealing with Russia. But really, the Chinese don't like no damn Edomites, right? The Arabs don't like no Edomites. The East Indians don't like no Edomites. The Africans don't like no Edomites. The Hawaiians don't like no Edomites, right? Even French, the Edomites don't like no Edomites. You got a house that is fully divided. That's why it's so much death and destruction in the air right now in the times that we're living in, right? Their society is collapsing. Their system is crumbling, right? Not just in America, in France, right? They fucking snapping. They losing their minds. They ready for a new parliament, a new rulership, right? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and the wicked ain't doing nothing good, so the Lord's about to take his rulership from him, right? I'm reading Isaiah 48 and 22. Again, it reads, there is no peace except the Lord unto the wicked, because the wicked thinking that he's gonna, how can we say, purge the earth of the unwanted people, right? Through the population control agenda, right? So we're gonna starve our people in that land. We're gonna poison people in this land. Yeah, we're gonna make these people fight each other. And yeah, Esau has a method of operation that's been used over and over and over. If you can't identify his method of operation, it's because you're blind, right? The scripture says it's high time to awake out of sleep, right? Because we know what's going on, man. We understand what's just happening in this system. It's a collapse. It's a controlled collapse, a controlled demolition, right? For them to set in a new system, right? It's called order out of what? Chaos. It's setting up a new world order.
Nepal continues to plunge into its worst political crisis in years. Demonstrations that began as anger against a sudden social media ban have spiraled into nationwide unrest, leaving at least 22 people dead and forcing Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to resign. For 3 straight days, demonstrators have taken over the streets of Kathmandu and several other cities. The unrest began on Monday when the government blocked major social media platforms, citing tax and cyber security concerns. That ban was lifted, but outrage over corruption and the deaths of demonstrators pushed the demonstrations into a violent new phase in Nepal. Government facilities have been destroyed. The main administrative complex in Kathmandu was set on fire, and later, demonstrators torched the parliament building itself. Hours before stepping down, Prime Minister Oli's private residence in Balkot was also burnt. Government facilities have been destroyed. The main administrative complex in Kathmandu was set on fire, and later, demonstrators torched the parliament building itself. Hours before stepping down, Prime Minister Oli's private residence in Balkot was also burnt.
I'm going to read the book of 2nd Ezra 9. We're going to start at 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, right? We're in the time of uproars of the people, right? You see what's going on in Nepal, man. They set the fucking parliament on fire, and after that, they went looking for the parliament leader and set his house on fire. Right? They had the police running for their goddamn lives. Right? And when you read the comment boards, it says, oh, this is coming to America. Every comment after comment after comment is talking about, this is coming to America. America needs this. This has to happen in America. Right? You just had a top Republican influencer get a bullet through his fucking neck and get killed. What you think these crackers finna do? Man, them crackers finna grab arms. Right? Them crackers finna grab arms. It's finna be, like it says, And they shall fight one against another with swords in their hands. One people against another, one realm against another, right? Especially here in spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt, right? The Egyptian against the Egyptian, right? The Lord is setting it up, right? It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. How did the Lord speak through the mouth of his prophets? Right? Certain prophets were prophesying of certain things that were soon to come to pass. And here we are living in the final days of the end of what this man's rulership, this man's full authority on earth. It says, for like as in the world, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? So, and even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them from the beginning. Right? I'm going to keep reading. It said, then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways. And they that have cast away they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Right? Because what did you choose? You chose to look for a job. You chose to better yourself in the society. He that findeth his life shall lose his life. Right? It's a lot of Jakes that done went back to politics. It's a lot of Jakes who's really believing in the system, the restoration of the system. Right? Don't you see what the fuck is going on around the world?
And Germany is building bunkers and stockpiling food. France is ordering hospitals to prepare for waves of war casualties. But America? If Europe is bracing for the worst, why does Washington act as if nothing could ever touch U.S. soil? Across Europe, governments are taking visible, concrete steps to prepare their citizens for the possibility of war. Billions are being poured into shelters, hospitals are drafting emergency protocols, and households are being told to keep survival kits ready for at least 72 hours. This is not science fiction, it is public policy. In this video, we will use those examples as a mirror and ask a question that hits close to home. Why isn't America doing the same?
Right, what you must understand is Babylon has gone off that pride juice. Babylon has gone off that pride juice. In their mind, they feel like they're untouchable. Right, the military might, the financial advantage that they have over the other nations, right? Also, they have puppets, spies, and different things set up to keep them in power. Right? They don't set up a whole system to keep them in power. But guess what? The Lord say what? Now, this is the book of Obadiah. Right? We're going to read Obadiah 1 in verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? So that's why here in Babylon the Great, they're not really thinking about the end of this system. They're not really thinking about this place being knocked off the map by thermonuclear fire. They're not really thinking about America being invaded by other nations, right? The unwalled village. Matter of fact, here we are in the book of Ezekiel, 38, right? We go into this chapter. It reads, Son of man, set thy face. I'm going to start at Ezekiel 38 and 1. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, thus saith the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks in thy jaw, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with sorts of armor, even great company, with bucklers, shields, and all of them handling swords, right? These other nations are preparing to attack America through Russia. Russia's that chief nation that's been preserved, right? Another Edomite preserved the fuck up you goddamn Edomites, right? And who's gonna be behind them? Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, right? Who's Persia? Iran, right? Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shields and helmets. We know China's going to be in the midst of that, South Korea. But here, we want to jump to the point. Because, Babylon the Great feel like they're untouchable. Right? It says, thou shalt ascend. Let's jump to verse 9. It says, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. This is the future. Right? Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Right? These other nations. Right? That's why you're seeing boats pop up on what? On the shores of America. Not the shores of America, but on the borders, in the waters surrounding America. Right? Different Chinese ships, different Russian ships, Asian ships. Right? And it says, thus saith the Lord power, it shall come. Man, what we're going to do right here is go back. It says, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, and shall be like clouds to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord power. It shall also come to pass that at that same time, that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think evil thoughts. Right? The Lord's about to put evil thoughts in the minds of the Russians. And it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, right? And having neither bars nor gates, man. We're just talking about here in Babylon the Great, right? They feel like, hey, man, we ain't got to worry about nothing. These evils that we see in the movies, that will never come. It's just Hollywood. Yeah, that's going to happen. But in another country, it'll never happen here. It'll never happen here, but we're seeing it happen here, man. We're seeing motherfuckers get sniped here. Motherfuckers get killed here. Politicians. Right? People promoting political stuff. Right? We're living in them times of what? The uproars of the people. Why are the people upset? Because they're not happy with the state of the condition of things going on in the world. Right? It's a lot of people, they're tired of their money going to, them people overseas. It's a lot of people, they're tired of fighting in wars that has nothing to do with them. They like, man, hey, I'm an American. What the fuck am I fighting over there for? Right? Because they're realizing now, yeah, man, you're really not a country. You're a corporation. Right? What's the biggest business in this corporation right now? Military, fighting. Right? Because America's really that military might. Right? You go over to Rome, that's that religion they used to get the minds of you people. You go over to London, that's the financial headquarters. Right? Esau got his ways of controlling the minds of you people, and guess what? His whole system is collapsing. Zechariah 3:5, it says, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Right? Every morning what the Lord is bringing that judgment to light, man. Right? Every day you're going to wake up hearing different type of news. You're going to be like, God damn, who thought Esau was finna catch a bullet in his neck and die today, man?
Account just a few minutes ago. I want to read you what he wrote. He said, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially by me, and he is now no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. Now, he was loved and admired by all, especially by me.
I hate you.
Yeah. Would you like to have a substantive conversation or?
A substitute?
Yeah.
A substitute? No, man.
No,
I think you're a f***ing asshole.
Would you like to have a conversation?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like you. I think you spread hate. I think you spread bigotry. I think you piss a lot of people off because you're just an awful person. I don't think you really want to debate because you're just here to piss people off and energize your crowd of racists.
Have I ever said that's racist? Can you name one thing?
I'm Hispanic. Can I support Charlie?
Can you name
Does that mean anything?
Can you name a second thing I've ever said that's racist?
I think you're just trying to play a game, and I think this is obviously going to be used.
When have I ever said that's
I just want
hateful?
to hate you. You're awful. Get off my campus.
When have I ever said anything that's hateful? Then I say, he can't say anything I've ever said that's racist, because I've never said anything that's racist.
Content where I have to put I love content where I have to put very little effort into it. This person says, what has Charlie Kirk said that is racist? I don't even have to tell you. All I got to do is roll the footage.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
About half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes.
About half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. It makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Exactly.
Blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word so is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Exactly.
Blacks commit more crimes.
Saying so, as in therefore, as in one could conclude, but Charlie knows he's lying. Even if he hadn't just lied about the black prison population, Charlie is smart enough to know that correlation does not equal causation, but he's hoping that you don't know this. So he deploys the word so to make you think he's coming to an obvious conclusion. Black instead, he's making an illogical, racist leap. Charlie knows that we don't have usable data about who commits crimes. It's impossible to have that data since so many crimes go both unreported and or unsolved. Charlie knows that we only have data about arrests and convictions. I'll come back to that data in a moment. What's painfully obvious is that Charlie Kirk isn't interested in understanding the statistics he so carelessly misquotes. He's interested in making bad faith arguments. Something that becomes even more obvious in his next point.
Blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
I'm reading the book of Job, Job 13 and 4. It says, but ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Ye are forgers of lies, right? They always give me these statistics trying to make Jake look like they're the number one face of what? Criminality. They're the number one face of poverty. They're the number one face of government public aid usage. But when the numbers coming out, you find out Esau is the number one for public aid food stamp. Esau is the number one criminal. Esau is the most incarcerated, the serial killer, the face of death in Babylon the Great, right? And you got Esau trying to fix the problem. It says, ye are all physicians of no value, right? Edomite can't fix this problem, right? It says, if it would be so, she would be healed, but her wound won't be healed, right? Matter of fact, let's go back. Let's go to this. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Isaiah 47 and 1. It says, come down and sin of dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man, right? It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen, right? These devils know that they're wicked, right? That's why you got other Edomites exposing other Edomites for being racist, for being, having that perpetual hatred for who? The children of Israel, right? The man of sin is being revealed, and what else? The man of sin is being judged. That's why we're seeing every day that judgment is coming to light. And who's the main focus? Who's the Lord focusing on right now? Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom.